By the way, who here experiences high anxiety on some level or has experienced anxiety in some level? Okay.
I'm a man on a mission. I don't need no permission.
Unstoppable, my friend. How are you?
In this episode, we keep the vulnerability train going in Uluru with another incredibly special moment from one of our K2 elites.
Hi, it's Mark Camereri from Secure Pave. If you're dealing with anxiety, you are not alone. I always thought that I was the only one that had anxiety.
For this morning, what I thought we'd do is just give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions you want. Let's have a discussion and just see where it goes. I feel very confident this morning wherever this conversation goes, it's going to be exactly where it needs to go. Really think about it. Go, if I could talk about one thing right now that I need a little bit more understanding about, because I'm afraid to talk about it, because I'm afraid of the judgment, I'm afraid of what other people might say, but it's something I really do want to discuss. What might that be? Mark in the house.
There's something that I don't want to talk about, but I feel I need to talk about, and is that anxiety.
Yeah, please.
I don't know why I get emotional around it.
If you did know, why do you think it would be?
Because I hate it.
Hate's a strong emotion, isn't it?
I feel it just stops me from doing everything in life.
When you say everything, what specifically?
It's like life is harder, and I just use grit to get myself through every day. You know, like going to your office the other day, it took me 10 minutes to get in there, just to slow my heart rate down and walk in. And that's with everything in life.
Have you had any significant trauma in your life?
I don't know.
Nothing that
stands out,
right.
Nothing besides, the normal picked on.
What did you just think about then? You said nothing that stands out, and then you went, what was that? What were you thinking?
I was just thinking nothing that's serious in my eyes, like bullying or picked on. That's probably the only thing I can think of. Just always social anxiety.
But do you know what the root of anxiety, where the root of anxiety comes from?
No.
The feeling of not being safe.
Right.
And so as kids, when we don't feel safe, we look to the environment to help us determine, is that true? And if the environment is screaming back at us, then we go, okay, it's not safe. But then we look to people, social proof in our environment to go, how do I respond to a lack of safety? So I guess my question would be did you have good role models when you were growing up on how to regulate a heightened emotion or how to regulate unsafe feelings? No. So is it fair to assume the potential of your anxiety is rooted in the fact that no one ever really showed you how to regulate properly?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that knowledge, what do you think is the answer to your anxiety?
Is learn how to regulate.
Learning how to regulate. Well, that's easy to say, but what are the tools that would really, really serve you at the highest level to learn how to regulate?
Breathing, for one.
That's a great one, yep. What's another one?
Silence just comes to mind.
And what's a form of silence? What's a practice that involves silence that you could learn outside of just trying to be silent that would really serve you to learn how to quiet the mind, calm the mind, and as a natural consequence, it will regulate your neurology all the way down to your biology, all the way down to your chemistry.
Meditation.
Do you meditate?
I'm learning to.
If it was a yes or no question, what would that be?
No.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful awareness, but it's what you do with that awareness is going to determine the effectiveness of the awareness. It's one thing to know my back hurts, but it's another thing to go, well, what am I going to do about my back hurting? I'm conscious enough to know my back hurts. Okay, and I've had it hurting now for long enough to know I've got a problem there. Okay, and you say, well, you've got to go to the chiropractor, you've got to get massage, you've got to stretch. Yeah, I know I've got to do it, but my back hurts. But you've got to, yeah, I know, but my back hurts. See, if you're conscious, that's only one half of the equation of creating something new. Because I'm conscious enough to know there's something going on. I'm conscious and I'm anxious. But now you have the ability to respond in a way that will regulate that anxiety. But you haven't reached a point or a pinnacle enough that has driven you enough, because this is not the first conversation I've had with all of you guys around the importance of meditation. And I can say this because meditation is a part of my life. It's been a part of my life for almost 20 years now. You know what to do, but are you willing to do it? Does this make sense? Consciousness without responsibility is a burden. Ouch, it just hurts. But when you have consciousness with the ability to respond, in a way that enables you to use experience and tools, you now have freedom because you're not trapped anymore. You're not trapped. You're free, Mark. You're free. You're free. But you get a level of certainty around how you feel by being trapped in those feelings, trapped in those emotions. Because my question to you is, if you don't feel anxiety, what would you be feeling? You don't know. But by feeling anxiety, you know in every situation you go into, you know exactly how you're going to feel, and you've got your little routine of how to deal with that. And that, for you, has created a false sense of safety. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So by virtue of the thing you want to avoid, you've actually created that thing that you want to avoid because it is the most safe thing you know. But now you've got to ask yourself the question, with a new level of awareness, a new level of consciousness, is that going to take me to the next level? Because it's got you to here. And here's the thing. Is your anxiety a bad thing? This is going to be the nail in the coffin for your anxiety.
I was always looking at anxiety from a negative point of view, so I had a lot of negative connotations attached to the anxiety. And what Kerwin helped me was to see the other side of the coin on all the positives that anxiety has brought to my life.
Is your anxiety a bad thing?
No.
So what's the benefit of your anxiety?
I'm a good planner.
You're a good planner. What else? What skills, knowledge of experience have you developed as a result of having high levels of anxiety?
Navigation skills, I think.
When you say navigation skills, what do you mean specifically?
I can navigate around people.
Yeah, you can navigate around people. What other benefits? What is a major benefit that anxiety has given you that you mentioned earlier that you have to use every time you experience it in order to get through?
Grit.
Grit. What other benefits have you received as a result of high levels of anxiety?
Awareness.
Awareness? Around what specifically?
Around what's going on around me.
Yeah.
I got good spatial and
Yeah,
awareness.
so it's made you very situationally aware.
Situation is the word, yeah.
Has it also made you quite security conscious?
Yes.
So it's made you quite security minded?
Yep.
Do you think it's actually made you a better parent?
100%, yeah.
100%. So it's made you a better parent. What other benefits have you received as a result of high anxiety?
Discipline.
Discipline? In what areas specifically?
Everywhere. All life. Because I'm structured. So everything.
So another benefit is structure.
Structure.
Where have you put structures in place as a result of your anxiety?
Daily routines.
Right.
Habits.
So is it fair to say that the anxiety has also developed and fostered some really good habits?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. Are you hearing the certainty in his voice? By the way, who here experiences high anxiety on some level or has experienced anxiety in some level? Okay. If there was one more major benefit that you've received as a result of high anxiety, what would it be?
Protection.
Of whom?
Everyone.
So it makes you more protective
I feel like I want to protect.
because you want to create an environment of what?
Safety.
Because you don't feel,
Safe.
yeah. So it's made you an incredible protector. Did you just feel what happened to you right then?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you just feel?
Oh, calm for a second.
Yeah, calm for a second?
Yeah.
Was that calmness maybe embedded with a little bit of gratitude?
Yeah.
Because here's what I'd like to know. Would you be willing to give away all of these traits and have them go away in order to relieve your anxiety?
No.
Why?
Because they're good traits.
Yeah. Is it fair to say those traits have made you who you are?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you look at anxiety and go, wow, this is actually quite a gift?
Now that you put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anxiety has been one of the greatest gifts that you've received. And I can actually echo that because it's been one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. If it weren't for debilitating levels of anxiety, I wouldn't be here where I am right now because I had that and I was like, there's something wrong with me. I'm going to pursue and find the solution. How am I going to cure myself? And through the pursuit of wanting to fix myself, ultimately heal, I became who I am today. You have become who you are today. But my question to you is anxiety serving you any longer? See, the beautiful thing is when you resent something, what happens? It repeats itself. Whatever the suffering is in your life will repeat itself until you learn the lesson. These are your lessons.
I feel a lot lighter looking at that, going, I'm not too bad after all.
No, you're fucking amazing, Mark. All of us see how amazing you are. I've seen you at work, mate. I've seen all these positive traits. And there's no way in hell I'd want to get rid of any of them because I actually really fucking like you. Who likes Mark? We love Mark.
So now I have a set. I've discovered all the great qualities that I've got from dealing with anxiety on how now that can help me move forward to help achieve more out of my business and personal life.
But the question now is the anxiety now serving you any further? Because the anxiety has built to you who you are, but it's now, I guess my question is, do you now need it anymore? Has it given you all the lessons that are required for you to live a very healthy life now?
Absolutely, yeah, I don't need that.
No, you don't need it anymore. So now you can actually separate your relationship with anxiety in a healthy way, not in a resentful way. You're not going to have a messy breakup with anxiety. Okay, you've now got a beautiful opportunity for closure with the relationship that has essentially been an integral, not a small part, an integral part of your human development. And you can now end that relationship with love. Thank you, your anxiety. I'm so grateful for all the gifts that you've given me. You can now end it with compassion. I feel everything that you've given me. And you can now end it with now knowing that it served you at the highest level. But the only way that you can end that relationship in a healthy way is by now using the tools. Okay, because if you're serious, which I hope you are, is you now have to be conscious of, okay, I need the tools to gain the experience, to get the wisdom that tells me the tools work. And the tools are, my brother, you need to meditate. You need to start meditating. You know, I'd say start with an app at the very least. And by the way, I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to every single person in this room. Once you start to meditate, your life is just going to completely change. But you've got to understand, you didn't build a body like that just meditating for 3 months, just training for 3 months. How long have you been training for?
15 years.
15 years. And you've got a rig now. You've got a rig that when you take your shirt off, people go, wow, you clearly have worked hard to get that rig, correct?
Yeah.
So now you're going to start another 15-year journey, okay? And that doesn't mean you're never going to have anxiety. I know for me, if I don't meditate on a regular basis, okay, if I stop and if I fall off the wagon and it gets to a couple of weeks, anxiety starts coming back.
Yeah.
And so I know when anxiety starts coming back, fuck, I'm not meditating. I know what the tools are. I've got the experience to know. I just got to do the work. And that's where you will be free.
Yeah. Okay.
Discipline and structure will set you free.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Those skills that you just taught, I got a whole different perspective of me as a human being. Like
from all those benefits,
how fucking great I am
as a result
of my anxiety and what I've done to construct my life and the ability and all the skills that I've developed to help overcome anxiety or to deal with anxiety and just make it a part of my life, but not realising that they're actually good traits that I've got.
So if you're listening out there, you are not alone. There's many people that have anxiety. I encourage you to reach out and ask how you can use anxiety as a tool to move you forward instead of something that's holding you back.
I'm a man on a mission.
Thank you for watching this Kday. If you know of anyone in the world that could benefit from this video, why not send them the link? And also big shout out to Mark for being open and vulnerable with us. Give him some love in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Waiting and wishing.